let's not pretend that the MCU is in a healthy place. Let's not pretend Disney is in a healthy financial place. Films underperforming and countless other issues that seem to be cropping up. We can also say that it's not just franchise fatigue. So don't listen to the idiots on Twitter who are shilling for their favourite people they can get off to. Let's look at this analytically. You had a franchise that was built off of Iron Man. Then, over time, it spread out, brought other superheroes in, but more recent movies such as Thor, Love and Thunder, and television series such as Arrow and She-Hulk have been diabolical. The She-Hulk was a horribly written mess. Thor, Love and Thunder was horrible. Arrow was just a joke. The viewership on these shows is very low and they don't tend to last very long. These shows exist purely as more of a cash grab because they think they have the fans already. They think they have the fans that are going to watch their content and find new people. So they have a ready built audience, but they're going to try and bring new people in that wouldn't necessarily watch a superhero movie. The problem with that is they're not going to watch these either. Now they're trying to do an Avengers movie, but why? Because most of the real Avengers are gone, and the MCU should have ended with Endgame. Now they've just got the Wish knockoffs, and oh god, they're going to have... I have an image of like the epic battle at the end, and She-Hulk unleashing the power of twerking. It's going to be funny. They're desperately trying to make this relevant again, and it doesn't work that way. You're only as good as your last movie. The mild underperformance of Wakanda Forever is also fascinating. But also Disney's own hypocrisy when it comes to censorship for other countries, the Middle East and China, for example. Not only two of the biggest polluters in the world when it comes to mining for batteries, but also two of the most conservative countries and other places as well. And Disney, I swear, will make a pride video out of the stuff they edit out for these markets. And controversial statement, if you have to edit these movies in such a way to make them palatable for these censors in these countries, maybe they don't deserve the movies in the first place. But then again, a lot of these movies are banking on success in China rather than the West. And it shows. Disney can talk about as much queer representation as possible, but most people need to realise that Disney's idea is token at most. Disney in themselves, and I do believe, have way too much power. They're buying studios up one by one and creating shameless cash grabs from old IPs and ultimately kind of destroying them. We saw it with Star Wars, for example. A film series in the sequels that didn't meet expectations in terms of writing, characterization, or anything. The films just felt more like fan fiction than actual Star Wars movies, and throwing away George Lucas's original concept and script is a little underhanded. Admittedly, watching the Star Wars sequels gave me a new appreciation for the prequels because at least they feel like Star Wars. Now, on this side of it, Disney's own financial decisions are stupid. We know this. There's no way around it. But it's created this weird environment in which criticism against anything they do is now weaponized and used to attack you. They ultimately attack the audience and shut them down. Rather than saying, okay, a film flopped, let's do better, no, the fans are the problem. Ultimately, this is this mix of Disney just constantly screwing up and not realizing who their audience are versus the whole franchise fatigue. They are interlinked and they are intertwined here. People are getting bored. People are ultimately kind of becoming sad about it and moving on to other properties and films. When every movie is basically the same studio making 5 to 10 big movies a year, there is a major problem, and the industry is not in a good place. People are over characters they love being ruined and being destroyed. We've seen it with Rings of Power, we saw it with Star Wars, we've seen it with countless other things. Characters being rewritten. Ultimately, the fault here is with Disney, because they're not churning out a good product. And with their own sort of main films not doing very well, and a recent big flop for them as well, we're kind of back to where we were when they did the Lone Ranger and the John Carter movie. And both of those I actually love, despite their flaws. Read the John Carter books, by the way, they're very good. Disney are just a soulless corporation, and they have no clue what they're doing, and they're refusing to give fans what they want, and fans aren't watching it. But they're blaming the fans, they're attacking the fans, and ultimately, Disney don't care about the fans, and it's a massive corporation. It's simple. The MCU right now is basically dead in the water. I don't think the next phase will revive it, and I think people are just over it. They want to see the characters they like on screen presented how they like them. They don't want to see this weird emasculation of male characters and this kind of destruction of these characters as well. Disney are in trouble, one way or another, and ultimately losing their audience. If they created something the fans wanted, then they'd probably get some of the audience back. But instead, they're not, and their own mistakes and their own failures are on full show. So tell me what you think in the comments below. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.